Okay, everyone, welcome. Still getting my camera adjusted. All right, welcome, everyone. For those of you who are new, I'm Lama Rod. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm practicing and living on and teaching on the ancestral lands of the Creek Muscogee Creek people. I'm just remembering them and remembering the land right now. Um, and on behalf of the land that I am currently on, I welcome you into this space. So awesome. Um, so it's good to see everyone, and we had a really wonderful retreat, one day retreat on Saturday, and I think got through a lot of stuff, a lot of material, and we're going to share some of that as well. Um, it was really wonderful to have that space with everyone. Welcome to everyone who's new as well. I think I saw a couple of new people um, in the space. We have a few people joining for the first time, so wonderful. Um, and yeah, we're gonna get started in just a bit. We have a few new, I guess, procedures for tonight, and I think Karen, you have the link for. So for those of you who were with me Saturday, we started. I just on the fly in the moment. Thank you to Eric for making it happen in the moment. Just had this idea um, about prayer requests that we would start a Google Doc for prayer requests because for a couple of reasons. One, I want to track the prayer requests, so I want to keep a record of those prayer requests to bring them into my personal practice. Secondly, it's hard to read. Sometimes it's hard to find and read the prayers when we have them in the chat box. And so this Google Doc, I'll open it up too. Is so you see the prayers from the retreat, which I won't offer today, and then we'll add the next round. So we'll put a heading, or are people already? I think maybe we've already started. What is today? The 12th? Is the day of the 12th? The 11th. Prayers for. Anyway, yeah. I think we've already started it. Yeah, so you see that. And so go ahead and just add your prayer request, beginning on the fourth page here. I see people, yeah. So you see prayers for July 11th, Medicine Buddha. Maybe you can make that. Yeah, make that big. Yeah, excellent. Okay, wonderful. And so you can just start adding prayers there. And that's going to make it a lot easier for me to read the prayers as well. Okay? I don't want to keep bombarding you with stuff. But one more thing, one more link. It's just taking a minute to get it. I have all of our mantras set up and um, translated. But it's taking a while for those will come up in a second. I hope they'll save in another doc. Um, or maybe not. All right. So we have those going. Um, Lots of new people joining. Okay. So just so you know, we just allow just a couple of minutes for people to get into the space. But I think a lot of folks are already in already. Um, but I just wanted to actually, this is something that I'm doing more often now. Um, um, in practice, I'm doing a little more candle work in practice because I think it is such a really powerful way. I got all these like, oh, it's ash on me. It's a really powerful way for practice to deepen. Candle work is itself a practice, right? And the candle, the light represents clarity, wisdom, as well. And this is something that is really powerful to do, just in your space in your home. For me, of course, visualizations. I'm very much, as you know, from those of you who've been in this practice for a bit, for me, I'm very much an intuitive practitioner. And intuitive practice means that I kind of just open and tune into what I am being asked to do, to offer. Um, I get sometimes these requests from like Buddhist media um, to talk about my daily practice, and I actually don't have a regular daily practice. Every day is completely different because every day is different. Every day is different because every day is different. I'm called to meet the day with different practices. Um, so I don't get up and sit for an hour or go and do yoga or whatever or do ceremony. Every day is very different. Some days I'll get up. A couple of like 2 weeks ago, I got up and I was called into ceremony for a couple of days. And ceremony means that I do one particular practice that's very ritual based. So there's a lot of different components of the practice coming together, right? Sometimes it means plant medicine ceremony. Sometimes it means fire ceremony. Sometimes it means prayer, like just basic, straightforward prayer ceremony. Sometimes that intuition comes through at different parts of the day. Sometimes at night, it's like I feel as if I'm being called into prayer, and that's intuitive practice. Intuitive practice, again, it's about being really connected to your benefactors. I would say benefactors, your homecoming circle, right? Just to open, right, and to feel how you need to move, to feel how you need to speak, right? And this is all I do in practice in Medicine Buddha. Like I rarely plan anything out. The practice on Saturday, right? I can write notes, right? But the notes mean nothing, right? When practice starts, right? Because I get guided into doing certain things, right? And I think for those of you, I am hearing, I'm hearing, I also know some of you personally. I've met some of you, so I know what your practices are. But I know a lot of people are coming in from all kinds of different traditions. And I know that I draw a lot of people who are working at intersections of practices. Like you're working with multiple practices from different traditions. And that's something that I love. That's something that I've always done intuitively my whole life, even before I was really into serious spiritual practice. I just felt compelled, you know. Ganesh, always, since the very first time I took a world religions class in college and studied Ganesh, ever since that day, like I've always felt connected to Ganesh, and Ganesh has like moved with me for over 20 years now, well over 20 years at this point. Um, and though I didn't have a practice or a puja or an initiation into Ganesh, I mean, I was one of those rare people. I don't know if it's that rare, but I mean, I just went to India in my 20s, in my early 20s. And just as like, not as a practitioner, I just went to India. You know, it was a tour of different countries, right? You know, and in Japan, I would just go to these countries um, and just find myself in temples and sacred spaces. I wasn't a practitioner. I wasn't meditating. I didn't know anything about anything, but I felt compelled, right? And Ganesh was really one of the first deity, I would say, actually, that just, it was so galvanized. If you see my space, my home, like I have Ganesh everywhere. One of the things that I do when I travel, particularly to like Asian countries, you know, I always buy Ganesh. Um, I have Ganeshas from Sri Lanka and India and Nepal and Singapore, um, some other places I forget. Um, I just like, you know, so that's intuition. That's something that's opening us, guiding us into a relationship. And I think that's karmic, that's past life stuff. You know, for me, I absolutely I deeply believe in that, right? Um, and I'm always looking for Ganesh, right? Um, and then also in an intuitive practice, I'm also being visited, you know, by a lot of deities as well. So this is why we, for instance, do Durga, you know. And speaking of Durga, let me see if I have that mantra page. Um, I'm gonna have to find it somewhere. You know, that's why it's like for me, it's really important to honor like that in my intuition, because there's something beautiful and fluid that happens when we surrender to what's being called. And sometimes, you know, what's being called feels, um, I know we it doesn't feel, we feel afraid. I would say. I guess we feel afraid with what we're being called into, right? And so, what helps to balance intuition is a practice like the seven homecomings, right? That we've moved through before, which I write about and talk about all the time, right? So, seven homecomings actually helps me to like figure out what's legit, like to experience like when I'm being called into something that's unfamiliar to me. I just offer prayers to my homecoming circle, which are my protectors, my guides, right? And they help to balance, you know, if this is something I should engage with or not. Um, okay, so I'm gonna post the new um, mantra sheet. So you all saw this, those of you who were with me on Saturday, you've already saw this, but we're gonna just like do this as well. So this is just all the three mantras, Medicine Buddha mantra, mantra of invitation, and Durga Ma's mantra. and the translations for the mantra as well, but all three mantras. So take a look at that. Um, so again, and when we're working with intuitive practice, there's a fluidity here. We just kind of open and we allow ourselves to be guided. Um, in my kind of circle of like peers, which is like all kinds of people who are identifying and practicing in all kinds of ways. There are people who identify as witches, right? Who are reclaiming witch, the identity of witch, or I have a friend who's a tantric witch, a Buddhist witch, which is really powerful, really intuitive to have conversations with her. And just like psychic friends and medium friends and friends like practicing or being initiated into, many different kinds of paths, from Yoruba and Ifa traditions, of course, different kinds, different lineages of Buddhism, and so forth and so on, like all kinds of magic traditions as well. And I sit in different groups, as well, and practice with people coming from very different places, and it's really like beautiful for me to meet people who are doing really powerful practices and they're trying to help, practices that they're using their power, their magic to help, right? And it's definitely, particularly in magic traditions, you don't necessarily have to help, but I think right now, like this kind of intuitive practice is really, for those of you who are really, I know some of you are really leaning into this, there's a lot of things that are opening up, a lot of new connections and a lot of new relationships with deities and energies right now. And this is the time, this is, in the apocalypse, this is about balance, right? And we've gone too far to one side, right? And now, the law of the relative is balance, right? There's no light without dark, but when there's too much dark, then the relative has to come back into balance, right? And so for the relative to come back into balance, the relative, well, I would say forces of light will awaken new energies and old energies. They're old, there's some very old energies, beings returning and reawakening. I know some of you can feel that, you know. Um, you know. You know. This is a time where we have to work differently as well. Um, like it's there, things aren't. Um, things aren't so. Things will not be given to you. I'll just say that. Things are not just, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's awakening, but it's not just gonna, you're not gonna just be given it. You have to work, right? And things are not always given to me um, as well. Like you have to practice in a different way, right? And sometimes you just have to say, fuck it. To say, fuck it, I can't wait for something to be translated. I can't wait for a teacher to come along. I can't wait for someone to show me a mantra. You just have to do it. You have to go and get it. You have to find it, And as again and again, I say this all the time. I'm someone who has had to do, It's not uncommon for me to hop on a plane and go to another country to find something. You know, I've had some adventures, like early on, some adventures finding things, like finding practices, finding texts, or, adventures in trying to like remember something, right? You know, isn't that wonderful? Just like the adventure, right? Um, I know some of us get tired of having to try so hard, but that's really what practice is. Like practice is work, practice is struggle. You keep doing it, right? You keep doing it even if you don't feel as if anything is happening. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. That's what makes a really strong practitioner. Is that we keep holding on. We keep pushing through, even if there's a doubt, there's hesitance. You know, that's something some of you have to learn. You know, like that's something you really need to train in, right? It's that like the most powerful liberatory things are things that we have to go on journeys to find. You know, like you go on the journey to find it, right? Because if it's given, you haven't necessarily done the work to earn that practice. Like the work in figuring out a practice is the practice also itself. You know, so you have to sit through a lot. You know, and I don't have any other good advice. I don't have any other magic pills to offer except, just to endure, to sit through it, to keep going, just to keep going. I just keep going, right? You just keep going over and over. You keep going. You keep, as we used to say, often in meditation communities, like you keep returning to the cushion, right? You just keep showing up. You keep praying. You keep opening, right? And sometimes things happen quickly, sometimes it doesn't, right? But because you don't feel anything doesn't mean anything isn't happening, right, in the practice or in the work, you know? You have to consume the world, right? And for those of you who sat with me in consuming the world last month or the month before, I forget, we did, I guess, earlier this spring, you need to consume the world. My the goal of my practice is to eat everything, right? To eat the world, right? Not for the world or samsara, the carceral state, to eat me. I'm eating the carceral state. I am consuming. Like that's the fierceness that I want us to have in practice. We need to fucking eat this, right? Instead of being overwhelmed, which is what happens, right? Is what happens because we're still learning how to be in relationship to the phenomenal world, be in relationship to our bodies and our minds. But you have to get to a point, and this is the energy of wrathful beings in Tantra, right? This is why so many people are afraid of wrathful beings and iconography, right? Because it's so fierce, right? It's a fierceness that takes us out of complacency or ambivalence, and it takes us into direct engagement. And that's fierceness. That's like drag queen fierceness. That's like I don't know, Fannie Lou Hamer fierceness. That's Harriet Tubman fierceness, right? Like the fierceness. That's Stonewall fierceness. That's you know. Grace Lee Boggs fierceness. Like, you get that, you know. Um, like, this is a time to be fierce, and fierce means that you will lose things. Like, people just won't vibe with that, you know. And that's okay. We try to hold on to too many people, when in fact, we need to actually let people go. And I know that sounds really harsh, But that's, you know, like the more we keep trying to pull people along, the more likely we revert to violence to pull people along, right? And pulling people along is itself violent as well, right? Sister Sadada told me something a while ago, which I was like, it was so. She gave me a teaching. And I know she's not here tonight, but she gave me this teaching. Um, we might share it if you're doing the gathering with me tomorrow night. I might get her to share this teaching for those of you who are in that with me. But she told me once, very recently, she was like, sometimes you have to just, what was it? What did she say? And of course, she's not here to remind me. But I hold the energy of that teaching. But it was something like, sometimes you just have to say thank you and goodbye, right? Like sometimes you have to say thank you and goodbye, and keep moving. And it's just really it's quite a heartbreaking teaching. Um, it's a hard teaching that like some people, they're not ready to get saved. You know, not in that like fundamentalist Christian way, but like people, like we have to choose liberation. I can't choose liberation for you. Do you get that? Like I can just show up and offer you the medicine, but you have to take it. Mm. I just show up, I offer you the medicine, but you have to make the choice. And all the ways in which people showed up for me to offer me the medicine of liberation, and I had to choose to take it. You know? But and when people are taking the medicine, I'm not going to force you to take it because it's not going to work. You know? Like it's like when I'm practicing with ayahuasca, with the mother. I call ayahuasca the mother. So when I'm working with the mother, which I know some of you have, like the hardest choice, the first choice and the hardest choice is to drink the medicine. To drink the medicine. And ayahuasca isn't the easiest thing to drink. You know, but liberation isn't the easiest choice to make either. And so sometimes you just have to keep going. Like sometimes you have to keep going. The door opens, and when the door opens, you have to take it. When the door to freedom opens, just take it. Nothing is forever. You're not leaving people behind forever. There's no such thing as forever, forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Like there's always the tradition of the Bodhisattva means that like I can always come back, right? Right. Particularly when you're not ready, I'll just come back for you, right? Over and over again, you come back, just like Harriet Tubman, always coming back, returning back, right, into the violence, into these places, and pulling as many people as she could out. She didn't pull everyone out, but no being can do that again. No being can save everyone. But for those of us, there are those of us who are ready to be saved, who are ready for the freedom. And you have to choose discomfort as well. You have to start choosing discomfort. Like you're already uncomfortable. We're already going through it. You might as well choose it because it's not going to go away. And when we choose discomfort, like you're actually cutting through a lot of suffering, actually, right? Because suffering is resistance to pain. So we cut through that resistance and we just get to the pain, and it's a different experience. It's still uncomfortable, but it's a different experience. Like you just have to choose this. If you're here, you need to choose. If you're in the world right now, you need to choose this. Right? Like you have to choose this moment. You have to choose this time. You have to choose everything that's arising for us as a world now. Like you have to choose to face the sickness and choose to face the collapse, right? And the famine, right? And the hate and the division. You have to face that now. And you face it calling in all of this energy, all of these beings who are here to help. And there's so many people who don't get it. And it's not, about any particular path in general. I'm talking about there's so many people across many paths who just don't get it. Right? And one of the things, that I'm going to end up saying something really intense on social media about, I just feel it coming, is that I'm tired of people who don't come from struggle, talking about the end of the world and talking about how things are just over. And I just want to get on and just say, fuck you. you know? I just want to say, like, shut the fuck up and let people who are doing the work, who have been doing the work, who come from communities of work and struggle, let us have this platform. And you just go off and sit down, because this kind of I don't know, at this point all the words just start going away, but this kind of like emotive, fatal stuff that people are doing about the end of everything, it's not helpful, and it reveals, that you've actually never been faced, you've never been challenged. You've never been challenged, your communities have never been challenged. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing that from people who have never done shit for community, who've never volunteered, who've never done activism, who've never organized, people who aren't connected to trying to help people who don't even know their fucking neighbors, people who are living isolated. When I say isolated, I mean like just like living in this bubble where they're like not trying to engage. And they're the first ones and the loudest ones to hop on social media and to talk about how this is the end of the world. I'm just tired. I'm tired that it's not helpful. Right? Like so many of us in this space, we're just working. Like I know this is not the end of anything. This is the rebirth of something. This is a transition, right? And as I say all the time, not all of us are going to make it, and it's very clear who's not going to make it, right? There are people who are just going to fold into the fear, fold into the overwhelm. And again, I'm not here to be overwhelmed. I'm here to consume the world. I'm not here for the world to consume me. I wasn't born to do that. I'm not a being that is consumed by anything. Right? That's the mantra you need to pick up. I am not a being who will be consumed. Just like Latrice Royale says, you have to eat it. You have to eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Like when shit happens, eat it. Or it will eat you. That's fierceness. That's the fierceness. I'm going to eat this. Right? Yeah, there's anger. Like, you have to tap into the anger. Go read Love and Rage if you need some support. You have to tap into that anger. You know, because that anger is that's is really great energy there that can like motivate you. Put that anger with this aspiration to consume the world, and you're doing something really powerful. Right? You're not just reacting to the anger. You're using that energy to like meet the world and to meet the chaos of the world. You know. That's right. Jesus was a biscuit. No, Jesus be a biscuit. No, is it Jesus be a biscuit? Jesus was a biscuit. I forget. I want to sop him up. Jesus be a biscuit, so I want to sop him up. I would stop listening to people who are just like giving in or giving up right now. Just stop. You know, block them, mute them, whatever. Disengage. It's not helpful, right? Unless you can hold that, right, and be supportive. But it's not helpful for me. You know, don't come around me with that doomsday bullshit. You know, right? Because you know, I give in to that, and my ancestors will have a very stern word with me about how that's not what we do. We don't do that here. And on Team Lama Rod, we don't do that shit. We don't give up. Now, I may not know what I'm getting into, and I may complain like hell when I get into it, but I'm not going to give up. You know, I may fuck a lot of things up, but I'm not going to give up. I've gotten here because I fucked up a lot. You can't be afraid to fuck up. You can't be afraid to say the wrong thing. You're gonna say the wrong thing sometimes, and then yeah, there you go. You have to feel the fierceness. Now, of course, I feel like a wrathful deity practice emerging, but this is Medicine Buddha. Not that Medicine Buddha doesn't actually emanate in a wrathful being, but I have to like figure that out though. I'm feeling a lot of Kali. But we have Durga. So so we have Durga energy. Durga Ma. Um, Messy. Yeah. And you have to avoid the people who aren't interested in being messy. You know, there are people who are just very performative, right? People like this all these like social media self help gurus, whatever they are, right? Who are just very performative, you know. And I know they're performative because when I look at their content, I feel nauseous, right? Like I feel nauseous when I hear content, right? You know, talks, speeches, mantras, anything that somebody's supposed to do. I feel very nauseous, and that is a sign. That's part of my intuition working, saying, "Well, this is something that's performative. Like this isn't medicine that I need to engage in." You know? And their dharmas, their teachings, will not be resilient, right? This is not resilient. It means it doesn't hold up. You know, like you have to collect, embrace, teach, practice dharmas that that becomes the medicine that meets the situation at hand, right? That gets to the heart of the situation. And quite honestly, I've arrived here. So like, if you're not praying, you're not getting free. Like, period. If you're not praying, you're not interested in getting free. Again, this is the abolition of Harriet Tubman's Sojourner Truth, right? This is early American abolition. You know, it's not just abolition. This isn't just about, you know, ending the prison and carceral state or defunding the police. You know, abolition is about a reimagining of the world, of society, of how we relate to other people, how we relate to ourselves. You know? And I think, of course, the people who are really doing abolition work know that, they understand that. But there's a healthy anti-spiritual component, an anti-spiritual, I don't know, feeling to current abolition organizing, you know, and that kind of abolition is not sustainable, right? It is not sustainable. So anyway, so I think everything is done. Everything is up. And I'm not saying that like I'm like right. And I'm not, I want to take that stance, but what I'm saying is that, what am I saying? What am I saying? I'm saying that saying that I'm consuming the hell out of this shit right now. That's what I'm saying. Right? And I'm teaching you how to do that. I don't feel as if I am being overwhelmed by the world, overwhelmed by my mind. I am doing the really hard work every day of consuming, you know, of going deeper, right? Like I'm not gonna teach anything that I have not practiced, right? You know, or I'm not gonna teach anything that like I don't intuitively feel is gonna get us free. So of course there's another word here. You know, I have yet to light the candle. Um, what is the word? What is the word? The word is forming. Um, this may take a minute. Um, you're not alone, right? That's the word. You're not alone. Like you're surrounded by beings who are trying to help you get free, and you have to reach out and open to that care, to that energy. So I'll end it there. There'll probably be more. Maybe they'll come later, but I want to continue. I'm gonna continue with the lighting. I was a little late today because I was called right before getting online. I was called into doing just a prayer ritual, just praying, you know. And I have another big candle, also burning right in front of me, too, that I prayed with. We light the candle, and let the candle become again. This is an expression of clarity and wisdom that, even though it feels dark, the darkness itself is also an illusion. And the incense is an offering, right? For me, it's an offering for all the beings in the space that have gathered. It's an offering to my home. And even when I close my eyes, I'm sitting here and just closing my eyes, I can feel the energy of this light, of this fire. In my experience, I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my mind, I can just feel the light, the energy of light, the energy of fire. Right? We did this on Saturday, but like feeling the light, this flame, beginning to fill the body, the warmth maybe, or the light itself, depending on where you're at right now. If you're already hot, don't imagine heat. But you can feel the light, the clarity, the openness. And what is it like to imagine, just reflecting on situations that we're in our lives, but taking particularly situations that feel confusing, that feel overwhelming, and taking the energy of this light into those situations. What does it mean to take this candle into the darkness of a relationship that you're struggling with, or the darkness of some kind of confusion, or fear, or ambiguity? And just to sit this light into that situation. You don't have to do anything else, but just let it sit there. Let it light something up. And calling in the importance of struggle here, which I know there's some teachers who don't like to talk about struggle, but I do. Struggle is just the way that I'm telling the truth. I'm being honest about that it requires effort to get to where I'm going. It won't happen. It just doesn't happen. There's some effort, even if the effort is just like praying, right, or forming positive thoughts. That's effort, but sometimes the struggle is way more real than a prayer. It's work, it's engagement, it's getting involved and making things, shaping things, transforming things through action, through speech. When you're in the light like this, the light becomes a source of energy that helps us to consume the chaos. And consuming the chaos means that we hold space for what's arising. And we're not reacting, but we're responding. That's the consumption. We are responding. Consuming the chaos. And we're not trying to get rid of the light. And we're not trying to get rid of the light. I'm sorry, we're not trying to get rid of the darkness. Sorry. Like, we're not trying to banish the darkness, because it's like, how would we, there would be no light without darkness. But the darkness must be held as well. Everything, the light, the dark, everything is just held. Because the light is a reflection of the dark is a reflection of the light. That's the holy balance, that's the sacred balance that the apocalypse is trying to bring us back into. Apocalypse is just balancing, coming back. It is not for the light to overwhelm the dark, it's not for the dark to overwhelm the light. It's just a balance. And for those folks, those beings who are at their most violent, it means that they're being consumed by these experiences of darkness, of the hate, of the selfishness, and so forth. We, as practitioners, deeply rooted in compassion and wisdom, we're being called to hold the darkness, not to be consumed by the darkness, not to react to the darkness, but to respond to the darkness. And when we respond to the darkness, we just say, okay, what's needed here? How do I take care of you? Because you're there, you're real, you're important. But I can't let you overwhelm me. Right? And for me, for Lama Rod, as I like to refer to myself in the third person these days, for Lama Rod, you don't have to worry about me. You don't need to worry. You can continue to pray for me, absolutely, all the time. But, I get this. Like, I get this teaching. Like, I live this teaching. I understand it. More is being revealed. You don't have to worry about me. I'm holding on. I will always hold on in this life. I'm here to help you hold on. I may not know what I'm getting into sometimes, but I'm not going to give up. So the light, right? Feel the light. Call your songs in, right? Amazonian shamanicism. I don't know if that's a word, but we have these Icaros. The Icaros is the music that arises from our consciousness. It's the music that arises from. It's the music that the phenomenal world gives us. It's the music from plant consciousness. It's the music from our consciousness. It's the songs that arise that actually point us to liberation, that guide us. What are your songs? Right? What are your ancestral songs? Right? And you don't have to know, again, who your ancestors are. They know who you are. And this intuitive practice means, like, all this is intuitive practice, by the way, just in case you're confused. This is, this is me just opening and just doing something, right? But these are the times for me where my ancestral practices and ancestral rituals and ceremonies and music come back. Like, this is what my ancestors did, right? Walk in the light. There's one song that I'm getting. This little light of mine. And in this light, this is where the deities arise. So you call into the light and let the deities arise from this light. So here's a little song for me, a kind of an ancestral Icarus for me, just this little light of mine. You can find the duet between me and my friend Nova Reed on my Instagram page as well. We just kind of spontaneously started singing and it was really sweet. But this is something I was actually singing often in the UK in March at different venues. This little light of mine. Mm-hmm. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All through my house, I'm gonna let it shine. All through my house, I'm gonna let it shine. All through my house, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All through my life, I'm gonna let it shine. All through my life, I'm gonna let it shine. All through my life, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And I invite you in this light, this experience of light, to imagine that all the beings who love you are emerging in this light. They're radiant, shining, like translucent beings flowing in and out of this ocean of light. Whatever beings arise, let them arise, be it Kali, be it Medicine Buddha, be it your teachers, right? Whatever god or goddess or deity emerges for you, just let that deity emerge within this ocean of light. And we can begin to call Medicine Buddha. And we begin with the mantra of invitation, which is Om and La Sangye Kino Soha, which is our mantra, our incantation, which is the beginning of a kind of a spell work that we're using to evoke these higher, more conscious energies, calling the profound, awakened consciousness of Medicine Buddha, of Minla Sangye, into this space, into this light. And we began with just a long chanting of Om. And Om is the word, is the sound, and beginning was the word. And the word was just a sound, it was energy, it was frequency. And from this frequency, the phenomenal world was born. This frequency was the mother, giving birth. Minla Sangye Kino. So, Medicine Buddha, please know me, think of me. Come here, be in this place. Make me fierce. By calling on the fierceness of Medicine Buddha, of Minla Sangye, the fierceness, the consumption, consuming the world, consuming the hate, consuming the doubt, consuming the loneliness, consuming the exhaustion. Let Medicine Buddha consume that. Allow Medicine Buddha to be wrathful. Allow the deity to show you how to be when you feel as if you can't be that for yourself. This is devotion to the deity, allowing the deity to work for you, to take care of you, to tend to you. But this is the mantra we begin with Om and Ma Sangye Kino Soha, beginning with Om. Om La Sangye Kino Soha. Om La Sangye Kino Soha. Om La Sangye Kino Soha. Medicine Buddha to arise in whatever way feels appropriate for you. Let Medicine Buddha and any deity show you how they want to be seen, how they want to be related to. And actually, I'm going to offer prayers right now. Now, calling to this light, again, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dharma protectors, all the saints, all the deities of light, all the ancestors of benevolence, all the elements, including the earth, and fire, and water, and wind, and spirit. I call into the space all the beings who love us, who are working to help get us free. And I offer my gratitude, my devotion to the ways in which, and for the ways in which you've loved me and protected me in ways that maybe I am not even conscious of. May my heart open to you. May it become an ocean of everything that you desire and need. And my heart becomes an offering to you. And we pray and we offer these prayers to you, and we ask you to work on our behalf to bring about the fruition of these prayers that are about the benefiting of all beings, about the balancing of the world and our lives. There's nothing else to do now but to offer these prayers to you. We pray for the global majority elders, offering prayers for direction and guidance for housing decisions and right action with money. We're offering prayers for Nicole Roy, who is advancing cancer and a young family to care for. Prayers for myself and my family as we honor 8 months since my father's passing. I'm offering prayers for my family as we recover from COVID. Prayers for all beings who have been affected by the virus. Prayers for everyone who is disabled, has chronic illness, or immunocompromised, that they may be safe as well as possible. May all who need protection and resources receive them. Prayers for all beings to be free from suffering. We're offering prayers for all suffering from burnout in the caring professions. Prayers for myself as I enter a new healing journey. Prayers for all to feel care. Offering prayers for my friend Sarah. May she see her own courageous heart with clarity. May I see mine as well. Offering prayers for myself as I labor to integrate fractured off parts of myself from childhood trauma, that I face with love and compassion the wounded parts, and that I am able to discern the labor from wallowing in negativity because it's familiar. We're offering prayers for all of my benefactors and the beings of the unseen world who are caring for me, and all the benefactors of all those here. Prayers for all of us working with chronic or acute illnesses or pain. Offering prayers for Nassar, Rachel, and the children. Prayers that those who most need it may feel held, safe, and deeply cared for. Prayers for myself as I recover from COVID and begin navigating systems, and for all those affected by the virus, and for my wife as we mark the anniversary of her father's passing today. Prayers for myself as I await important health test results, as I navigate chronic pain and illness. Prayers for the protection, fulfillment, and deep care of my loved ones, and of Trisha Hersey, Reverend Angel, Lama Rod, and Adrienne Marie Brown, that they have all the resources that they need to do their work. Prayers for my partner and his team to make it through this work cycle. Prayers for Nathan, who is undergoing major surgery tomorrow to hopefully remove all the cancer in his body. Prayers for my daughter, Hollister, who is having trouble recovering from COVID. For her husband and children who are well, but juggling a lot. For Julie Holderness, who died suddenly in an accident last week. For myself to stay connected to the goodness within all beings and to do my part to help others feel the same. Prayers for loved ones of Brett Rosenau, who was murdered by police this week, and the family whose home was burned down. Safety for all during this COVID variant surge. Prayers to find my next home easily. Prayers for Barry in surgery and recovery. Prayers for myself and my family who are grieving the loss of our parents whose anniversary was today. Prayers for my son who lost his father to COVID. Prayers for myself and my partner that we receive the resources we need as we navigate how to repair deep rupture and find whatever healing we need. Prayers for Tracy, who is dealing with grief about her mother's aging and decline. Prayers for my body to continue to heal from COVID and for my ongoing healing from chronic pain and illness. Prayers for the ancestors and land protectors. Prayers for me to accept the deep exhaustion I am feeling and treat myself with patience, care, and love. Prayers for my family and I who are grieving my grandmother, Laura, for the past month, the matriarch and healer of the family. May she be free from the suffering of the memory of multiple myeloma pain in her last year of life. Prayers for my dad, Ola, who is really suffering from the pain of the loss of his mother, who was his only parent. Prayers for my sister in dealing with her anxiety. Offering prayers for trans people suffering from lack of acceptance and our validation for our true selves. May you find community and validation. Prayers for my friends and community and their suffering. May we feel moments of connection to spirit and peace. Prayers for my body to respond with grace to this current health flare. Offering prayers for Janet, who is sick with known COVID sickness. For Karen, with COVID. For Randa, not feeling great either. And for all those struggling with illness. For my friend in New Mexico, settling into a new area for artistic and spiritual growth. Prayers for the release of shame, and any beings feel around their sexuality. May the life force moving through our bodies be free to express their creativity and juicy connection we long for. Prayers that I continue to make space for myself, others, and all experiences now and to come. Prayers for Peter and his visa process. Prayers for me navigating uncertainty with my career and financial life. Prayers for all people navigating new and continuous challenges, to any and all of us facing our fears and sitting in the work despite systematic lack of resources. Prayers for all facing existential crisis and leaning into the grief of letting go of ideas, identities, relationships, roles, and communities that they've grown out of. Prayers for all the non-human creatures and elements impacted by human greed and fear. Prayers for Helen, who lost her dear mother to a medical error. May her heart and sorrow be held. Prayers for the ability to consume when feeling overwhelmed. And as always, we offer all the prayers that remain unspoken, unarticulated, the prayers from our heart that we cannot form words for. We offer the prayers for the things that we don't even know we need, and prayers for what all the beings protecting us need as well. We pray for balance. We pray for light. We pray for the end of systematic abuse, harm, and violence. We pray for the restoration of this world. We pray for love, kindness, compassion, wisdom to reemerge. We pray that all beings get free sooner than later. Lastly, we pray as we move through this world, through everything that we're dealing with, that we pray for the power, the love, the compassion, the fierceness of our ancestors, of our guardian deities and angels and saints. We pray to Medicine Buddha for their love, their guidance, their fierceness, their insight. And we pray for healing forever. As long as there is suffering, we pray for the end of suffering. May it be so. And holding the energy of these prayers, we turn into our mantra, our main mantra, Teata, Bekente, Maha Bekente, Rasa Sumangate, Soha, like this. The pain is suffering, and the root of pain is suffering. May it be exhausted. May it be so. As we move into our chanting, just imagining the fierceness of this light becomes a flame, a fire, a wildfire that erupts from our experience, and it lurches, moves into the experiences of others that we've prayed for, everyone we've prayed for, consuming doubt, fear, fatigue, sickness. That this fire of light, this fire of love begins to bring about what we are most desperately praying to make happen. Let the fire consume what is not needed. Let the fire consume what gets in the way of liberation, healing, and balance.
Om
소아 대야다 원배근세 배근세 마배근세 라서 수만 같아 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 소아 대야다 enze rasa sumungate soha Eya taum begenze begenze ma begenze rasa sumungate soha Eya taum begenze begenze ma begenze rasa sumungate soha. So in this light, we begin to call upon the Mother Durga, Durgama, the fiercest goddess, the fiercest, one of the fiercest expressions of the Mother. The one who is beautiful and pleasant and sweet for those of us who are loving and helping, but who is not so sweet to those who are creating violence, who are hurting. We call on her, allowing her to arise within this light, this flame, this clarity. We ask for protection for ourselves, for those we love, for our world, for our communities. Knowing that she is becoming the light of protection for all beings. We begin with again. Namaha. Om Dum Dayaye Namaha. Om Dum Dayaye Namaha. And just shifting our attention back to the seat. Just noticing the weight of our bodies making contact with the seat, allowing the seat as an expression of the earth to guide us back into this timeline, this moment. Maybe reawakening our bodies with some gentle movement, slow, gentle movement. We'll just transition into our closing prayers from Shantideva's Bodhisattva's Way of Life. We'll recite this 3 times when we begin. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I also support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. And finally, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. Okay. All right. So thank you for your practice. I hope that was a nice little boost for you as well. I think my computer went to sleep for a bit, so I don't know. That's never happened. Um, Thank you, everyone. I'm not gonna do questions tonight. Sorry about that. But if we can bring those questions back next week, um, that'd be wonderful. All right. So thank you, everyone. Please, take care of yourself, and I will see you all again soon.